Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Boom Boom Room with Whispers Across America.
Boom boom.
Whisper.
It's boom boom. It's boom boom this time. Whisper.
Ella, boom
Man.
boom.
So are we? What's So Montana. We're like halfway through the states almost, huh?
Yeah.
Or are we past half? Are we past halfway now?
I think we're probably be 26. This one will, pretty sure.
Wow. Yeah, man. I mean, I never realized the USA was such a spooky place, man, until we started delving into all these stories from everywhere. Like, dang.
Yeah.
I used to think about, taking a road trip across the country, but now I don't know.
Yeah, it's some spooky stuff. The old United States of America, but yeah, it's old Montana. Have you ever been to Montana?
I never have been. I have some family that lives out there, but
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it would be a cool place to visit, man. Go see Jellystone National Park.
Yeah.
Say hi to Yogi. Boo boo.
Yeah. Hey, boo boo.
But I don't know, man. Montana. I always think of that movie, Legends of the Fall. Man, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yep.
With that Brad Pitt and what was the name of that actress, man? She was really pretty.
I can't remember her name, but I know you talk about. I was a teenager when it came out, and I remember going to movies where all of my friends and teenage girls, and they was in love with Brad Pitt. They were. Yep.
I'm gonna call you Brad.
I'm gonna call you Brad. But yeah, Montana, I've been there a few times, and it's really pretty. It's rolling hills. If you know what that is, it's like not super big hills, they're just rolling. You could look and see, and it's just like little bumps through the horizon. But yeah, it's I think it's it might be Wyoming, but I think it's Montana's the less whitest state in the United States. It might be one of the less populated too, because it's open spaces, man. It's open.
And what they got out there, you could get bison jerky, and you could get some huckleberry pie. Huckleberry.
Sounds good.
You got huckleberries out there, and yeah, because we don't have those in California, man. Huckleberries are good.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a little treasure if you see it in the store out here.
Really? Yeah, there's lately somebody told me about cloudberry. You ever heard of cloudberry?
No.
Yeah, they grow it in certain states, maybe Minnesota, and it's like a jam or a jelly. And my buddy from Sweden was telling me about it, that they used to pick it when he was a kid, and his grandma would make jelly out of it. And ever since he told me that, I've seen it on Amazon. I'm thinking about buying some and trying it.
Only $40 for a jar.
That's about what it is. Now it's about 25 it is, but you don't know if it's authentic or what. Swedish cloudberry. But yeah, I don't know, man. You take a gamble on something like that.
And a bison, man, that's pretty much just like a wild version of a cow, really. I mean, this one time I went to a barbecue at my brother's house, and he asked me to bring meat, right?
Yeah.
And we're gonna have burgers. So I stopped by the store. I'm like, well, you know what? Oh, this is bison. This is ground bison. Oh, that'd be interesting. So I bring over, instead of ground beef, I'm some ground bison, right? So we grill it up, make patties, and it looks just like a hamburger.
Yeah.
and we like to put the cheeseburgers, make them. And I took a bite, tasted like beef.
Yeah.
It tasted,
Yeah.
But I saw my brother, man. He's like kind of nibbling at it a little bit, like he couldn't eat it, man, because it's too weird.
Yeah, some people's like that. I gobble it up.
It's not cow. It's wild cow.
Yeah. Man, those things are huge. Those bison are too. Those are big animals. There's a lot of them in Oklahoma, believe it or not. They raise them. But I don't think they're buffalo anymore. They're bison. Somebody kept telling me that. Is that true?
I mean, I don't know the difference between a buffalo and a bison.
Me either.
I mean, I know that you can't get bison chicken wings. You can only get buffalo chicken wings.
You're so silly. You're so silly, Jack. Well,
there must be still some buffalo running around, man, with little spicy chicken wings growing out of their back or something.
Something. I don't know how they come up with that name. I need to Google that. That's weird how they come up with buffalo wings, isn't it?
Yeah, man. That's people getting grossed out by eating insects, Yeah. Where, like, if everybody started eating insects, like grasshoppers, it would be, that's like there's so much food on the planet, man.
Yeah.
If we all could start, but it's just kind of like we can't bring ourselves to do it.
Yeah, I'd try locusts. Some good fried locusts. Shoot, like John the Baptist.
But did you know in Montana there's a place actually called Grasshopper Creek?
Ooh.
And at Grasshopper Creek there is the legend of the bloody ghost, Grasshopper Creek. So it goes. Bannack, that must be a place. Bannack, Montana, was already dripping with blood. Miners were murdered for gold. Outlaws hanged from the gallows. But the cruelest story belongs to Dorothy Dunn, the young school teacher. Dorothy was supposed to bring light to the lawless town. Instead, she ended up a corpse in a creek. One bitter night, she was dragged from the schoolhouse by men who thought her gold coin necklace was worth killing for. They tied her wrists with mining rope. They gagged her and shoved her into the icy waters of Grasshopper Creek. But Dorothy didn't die quietly. She thrashed against the rocks, the rope cutting her skin, until her wrists split open and painted the water red. The men held her under as bubbles burst from her nose and her body convulsed. When she finally went still, the current carried her down, hair streaming like weeds, eyes wide open in the dark. Days later, her body was found snagged on a log, bloated and blue. But when they pulled her out, her mouth was torn open, lips shredded, teeth bared in a frozen scream. No one would claim her. No one dared. They buried Dorothy in the cold dirt beside Grasshopper Creek. That should have been the end, but it wasn't. Folks say her spirit rises from that very same creek, but not as the sweet school teacher she once was. They say her dress drips endlessly, staining the ground with water and blood. Her wrists dangle loose and broken, the miner's rope still biting into the flesh. Her eyes glow pale, swollen, and hateful. She doesn't just wander, she hunts. Those who linger too long at Grasshopper Creek sometimes vanish. When searchers come looking, they find the mud along the banks soaked crimson, handprints smeared in blood leading back into the water. And some swear that at night, if you're quiet enough, you will hear the choking gurgle of someone drowning, followed by a woman's voice whispering in your ear, "Come under with me. It only hurts for a moment. And if you don't run, they say that she'll drag you down into the water, rip your lungs open with her teeth, and leave your body bobbing in the creek. Just like she was left." Dang.
Yo, Dorothy.
Woo-wee. Man, I gotta
Oh.
look up where that I gotta look up where that Grasshopper Creek is, man. I gotta steer clear of that.
Oh, you ain't lying. Woo! Grasshopper Creek.
Man,
Mm,
man.
yeah.
I mean, that's a double tragedy, man. She was murdered, but I mean, she was also like, this young school teacher trying to do good in the world, and man, that's
Yeah.
brutal. That's brutal. That's like, wow. That's not just the Wild West. That's the Wild Wild West.
You know what I was thinking? Where was the law at? I mean, if there wasn't a law there to stop it, okay, and it was a lawless town, why wasn't there even a school teacher there? You know, those kind of towns, usually there's not no school. If there's that much violence, yeah, it doesn't
I know.
make
'Cause
sense.
those towns weren't exactly huge. It's like those old Wild West towns. They probably
Yeah.
had like 10 buildings.
Yeah.
So like, man, the sheriff was throwing back some rot gut in the saloon, and the
Yeah.
so he didn't know what was going on.
No,
Man.
he didn't care. He didn't care. Yep.
Man.
Yeah.
Poor Dorothy, man. But what's I mean, like, I guess sometimes with these ghost stories that we've encountered, the ghost isn't necessarily malevolent. A lot of them are just spectral figures that will appear to people,
Yeah.
and it's chilling,
Yeah.
but they'll just kind of like disappear. But this one, I mean, this one is definitely malevolent. Woo-wee.
Yeah.
Man, she must have been. Yep.
It's a sad one.
I mean, yeah. I mean, she must have been like, just really angry when that they were coming to get her, right? And when
Yeah.
she passed, she had all that rage and anger in her spirit, and it carried into the afterlife.
Yeah.
And then she became malevolent.
Yeah. Do you think people that are fixing to get murdered, if they forgive their murderer, that they pass peacefully and go on? Maybe that's the case.
I think it just depends on the person, man. It just depends on what kind of, if you are naturally, I mean, that's a tough one. Woo!
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That is definitely a tough one, isn't it? It really is.
I mean, I'm sure she wouldn't want to have become a vengeful ghost.
Yeah.
But she did, and so that's woo-wee.
Yep. Oh, Dorothy. Dorothy? Dorothy? Come get your dinner, Dorothy. All right, Chad. I guess it's time for me to read my first one. And this is a cryptid. And this is a pretty famous cryptid, and it's in more than one state, but this is a famous one from Montana. Very spooky, scary one, of course, but It is the Wendigo of the Bitterroot Range. Back when the gold rush fever burned through Montana, prospectors would vanish in the Bitterroot Mountains. Some say it was the cold. Some said it was bandits. The Blackfoot people had another explanation. They warned of the Wendigo, a spirit of endless hunger that takes men when they're snowbound and starving. One winter, a group of miners got trapped in a cabin high in the Bitterroots. The snow piled so high the roof sagged, and the food ran out after just 2 weeks. By the 3rd week, one man went mad with hunger. The others woke to find him crouching by the fire, chewing something red. At first, they thought it was a deer he'd shared. But then, they saw the half-burnt hand sticking out of the coals, fingers black and curling in the heat. The man's mouth was smeared with blood, teeth cracking bone, his eyes white and bulging. Didn't look human anymore. That night, screams tore through the cabin. One by one, the miners were dragged from their bunks. The Wendigo, thin as a skeleton, flesh stretched tight across bones, lips torn away as his teeth were always bared, ripped into them. It split bellies open with clawed hands, steaming guts spilled onto the floorboards. It snagged ribs apart to suck the marrow, and lapped blood straight from their throats like a hound at the slaughter. By spring, when trappers found the cabin, they said the snow around it was stained pink. Inside, the walls were painted with hand-printed prints of blood. Bones were stacked in the corner like firewood, gnawed and hollow. And at the worst part, they said one body was still moving. A miner, nothing but skin and bone, eyes gloomy with fever, his lips were gone, his jaws too wide, his voice a hiss. He begged them not to feed him, but his hands twitched, clawed the air, reaching for flesh. From then on, men swore they saw the Wendigo stalking the Bitterroots during long winters, gaunt, bloody, and always hungry. If you hear scratching on your cabin door or footsteps circling in the snow, don't open it, because once the Wendigo smells blood, it will rip you apart piece by piece until the bones are as hollow as the wind in the mountains. The Wendigo.
The Wendigo, the Montana Wendigo.
Yep.
The only other one we had was from Minnesota.
Yeah. Yeah, so northern states.
And I don't know. It's I mean, it's kind of like cautionary tale about don't do the cannibalism.
Yeah.
But it kind of like reminds me in Japanese legends. There's these spirits called the hungry ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
Hungry ghosts.
Yeah.
And people who have been like super greedy in their life. They that's how they become in the afterlife a hungry ghost. But they're tormented because their bellies are huge, their mouth is tiny, and then if they ever try to eat some food, the food like bursts into flame.
Ooh.
And before they can even put it in their mouth.
Wow.
So you don't want to become a hungry ghost in Japan, but it's kind of like I don't know, it's a little bit similar to the Wendigo type of mythology, but man, I mean that's terrifying.
So basically, it's probably something that a human, when they're hungry, it's some kind of dark spirit probably approaches them and turns them
Well,
into Wendigo, gives them a choice or something.
Because like in the Minnesota, the Wendigo of the North was that we read. That one was basically the Wendigo was a spirit. It was an evil spirit, and it would possess them.
Yeah.
Now, but I mean, you would have to think that it's the same deal with Montana, because Wendigo. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you're not gonna naturally transform into, you know, being as thin as a skeleton and super tall and you know, without some supernatural force that you know is possessing you. You know.
Yeah, because you'd have to give over to eat human flesh to kill somebody. You know, it's different, I guess, if they're dead and you eat them, which I wouldn't do it. But I guess if you,
That's a good point, man. That's a good point.
Yeah.
If you kill them to eat them, then the Wendigo, then you are.
Yeah. You know, that's different.
The Wendigo sees you.
I wouldn't want to, eat a human. So there's probably some kind of demonic spirit, saying, go ahead and kill them and eat them, and, and you'll survive. And then it just takes you over. Yeah. Because then murder, and then you're committing cannibalism.
And then in Australia, they got these wild dogs, man. And then they got some of them become these evil creatures that try to eat humans, and those are the Wendigos. The Wendigos.
Yeah. Wendigos. Wow. You crazy, man. You had me believing about the Wendigo.
Wow. Wow. Not the Wendigos, the Wendigos.
You're getting me tonight, Ted. You're getting me tonight.
All right. So this next spooky folklore story from the big state of Montana is about that sheriff that was throwing back the rot gut in the saloon while Dorothy was getting murdered. I don't know if that was really Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, it might have been him. It was both by Bannack. Yeah. So he is the sheriff that was, man. So this one is the sheriff from that town where Dorothy got murdered. This one is called The Bloody Tale of Sheriff Henry Plummer. Bannack was a lawless gold rush town in 1863, filled with gamblers, thieves, and killers. When Henry Plummer was elected sheriff, folks thought they'd finally found a man who could bring peace. Henry was charming, educated, and he wore the badge well. But death followed him. Stagecoaches carrying gold kept getting robbed. Travelers were ambushed and found butchered along the roads. Their throats slit, their bellies split open, their bodies stripped and left for the wolves. At first, people blamed roaming outlaws, but whispers started spreading. The robberies were happening too often. They were too close. And the killers always seemed to know who carried the richest loads of gold. Soon the truth surfaced. Plummer wasn't protecting Bannack as sheriff. He was running it. As sheriff by day, he upheld the law. But by night, he was the mastermind of the Innocents. The Innocents were a ruthless gang that may have killed over 100 men in Montana's mining camps. The townsfolk of Bannack had had enough. In January of 1864, Vigilantes dragged Sheriff Plummer and 2 of his deputies from their beds. They didn't wait for a trial. They marched them straight to the gallows. The gallows that Plummer himself had ordered to be built. The sheriff begged for his life. He even asked the townsfolk to tie his hands in front so he could signal when the rope was too tight around his neck. The vigilantes ignored him. The rope snapped his neck. His deputies swung beside him. Snow fell over their bodies, and the town of Bannack was silent. But here's where the scary part begins. People say that Sheriff Henry Plummer never left. His ghost is seen wandering Bannack's gallows with a twisted neck, clutching at the rope burns on his throat. Some visitors claim to hear boots crunching behind them in the snow, only to turn and find no one there. Others swear they've seen a shadowy figure in a sheriff's coat lurking inside the old jail, eyes glinting like a predator in the dark. And if you linger near the gallows too long on a cold Montana night, locals warn you'll hear his final rasping breath and feel the brush of rope tightening around your own throat.
There he was.
Sheriff Henry Plummer. Oh, that's what he gets, man. That's what he gets.
I've got some pictures too of Sheriff Plummer. They'll be inserting here, and yep. And
they actually had like real photos from back then, huh?
And it shows them hanging too. Yep.
Hey.
Yep.
Hey.
He was ruthless.
I mean, if you swear you're gonna be, a peace officer and protect justice, and
yep.
I mean that's no light promise, man.
No.
I mean people gonna feel doubly betrayed if you swing both ways on both sides of the law.
Yep. Not cool, man. Doing that.
Wow.
It's just corruption.
Mm-hmm. So like basically, these people, like the stage coaches would come into town and they'd probably connect with the sheriff just to let him know, hey, we got a big shipment of gold we're gonna be taking, and don't just so you know, because you're the law around here, you gotta look out for any nefarious doings on, and maybe people looking at trying to steal the gold, right? And he would just sit there.
Yep.
You say there's a lot of gold?
Yeah, no kidding.
Where, what road did you say they were going to be on? I'll keep a real close lookout on that.
Yep.
Man.
That was pretty rough there, dude. And I was just kind of reading about him a little bit.
He was a real dude. I mean,
he's a real
actual history, man.
Yep. I know why it says Idaho territory, but anyway, he was a rough dude. He's a vigilante. He was an Idaho merchant sleeping. He robbed one in 12,000 gold dust one time. In 2,800. That was a lot of money back then. There's no telling how much that was, 1,000 in gold, 5,000, 1,500. Yeah, he was robbing them. Yep, that was a lot of money. He was hanged in January 11th, 1864.
Yeah, no wonder he didn't care about Dorothy, man. He was thinking about robbing the gold stagecoaches.
Yep, that's why. Yeah,
Poor Dorothy didn't stand a chance, man.
there's a lot of ghosts up in that town. A lot of bad stuff went on in that
Or
town, sir.
Bannack, Montana.
Bannack. Yep, we got some ghosty ghostesses. But Ted, I'll read my last one here. And this one is called the Demon of Flathead Lake. Flathead Lake is one of the largest freshwater lakes in the western U.S. Beautiful and deep, stretching miles across Montana's wild country. Locals talk about a lake monster, sometimes called the Flathead Lake Monster. But the native Salish and Kutina tribes tell a much older and darker story. Long before settlers came, two young girls were gathering water at the lake. The water began to churn and boil. A massive horned serpent rose up from the depths. Its eyes burned like coals and its mouth dripped with slime and blood. But it was no simple animal, it was a demon. The tribe elders later said the creature was a spirit of punishment and awakening when humans disrespected the land. The serpent lunged at the girls, its jaws snapping. One escaped. The other was dragged, screaming beneath the surface. Her body was never found. After that, the people feared the waters. They said the demon demanded blood. Once it tasted a victim, it would return again and again. Through the years, the settlers and fishermen told their own stories. Boats overturned on calm waters, leaving mangled bodies washed up on the shore. Survivors claimed they felt something wrapping around their legs, pulling them down, claws raking their skin raw. Some said they saw a long spined tail break the surface before the lake went still again. Even today, the Flathead Lake has drownings almost every summer. Locals whisper that all of them are accidents. Not all of them are accidents. If you camp by the lake at night, people say you can hear something moving just beneath the water, scales scraping rocks, and sometimes the muffled sound of screaming. And the most terrifying part, divers who've gone deep into the Flathead swear they've seen things down there. Cavern mouths filled with bones, skulls with teeth marks too wide for any fish, and once in a while a glimpse of glowing red eyes staring back from the blackness before vanishing into the depths. Yeah, that we read one a while back about another lake monster. And you know what? I believe
Was it Sinkhole Sam?
Yeah.
Kansas.
Yep. And
It's supposed to be a look.
Yep. That's right. I think that there's some kind of dinosaur or something left over like Nessie. You know?
Oh, yeah, it could be, man. I mean, what's interesting about this one is they like the the Native Americans, they actually considered it to be a supernatural demon.
Yeah.
And it was the demon of punishment.
Yeah.
But man, it's like if it came to get like two young Indian girls from the side of the lake, dude, what they do?
Yeah.
What they do? You know, I mean, come on.
Might have been sins of their fathers, you know.
It could be.
And, yeah,
the demon was punishing the father by taking the daughters.
I've never heard of those Native Americans. Have you? The Salish and Kutinia. Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Must be Montana tribes.
Yeah, Montana tribes. Dude, that'd
Man,
still be scary. Something like that.
it's kind of interesting because, like, I wonder how big Flathead Lake actually is. I mean, a lot of times sea serpents you hear it associated with like the ocean, the high seas, right?
Yeah.
And of course, you know, Nessie is in Loch Ness, which is Scottish for lake.
Yeah.
But we got, I guess there's some sea serpents that are they're in lakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but this one seems, a lot of times these sea serpents, I don't know, it seems like they don't really do much, except they're not gonna, because like
Yeah.
Sinkhole Sam, he didn't really attack people, but this one seems like it's a real monster, man.
Yeah. Could be just some kind of prehistoric, you know what I mean? Just it's a big old looking lake too. It's got a little island in the middle of it, from what I've seen.
So it's big enough to be home to a a, a, a big sea serpent.
Yeah, they've got little
Man.
statues out of it in Montana, so it's kind of a famous creature. Yep.
Yep.
It is
Man.
definitely famous. I wouldn't want to see it, but dude, I've told you this before. I grew up off the Arkansas River in Oklahoma, down about 3 miles from some Native American, mounds, burial mounds, and down there at the Arkansas River, they had a dam. And there's several in about 50 miles, like 3 different dams down the river. And we would go fishing at night, and they'd have people working down there, at the dam, and to do maintenance and everything. And they've said it many times that they would go down there diving to repair the dam and scuba diving, and the maintenance workers, and they said they see fish so big down there it scared them. One guy wouldn't even go back down there, like the catfish and stuff. Said it was way big enough to swallow a human. Yeah, because there was big catfish. Because I remember my dad when I was real small, before he got too sick, and be able to walk and get in a wheelchair, but he caught a catfish. It was so big. We had pictures of it. He had like a pole through its gills and holding it up, and it was over 6 feet tall, long. The catfish. Yeah, he caught it down there. Yep.
That fish get pretty big, man. I mean, like tuna from the ocean.
Yeah.
They're big. They're big fish.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, it's interesting to think, like, conjecture about these lake serpents. So, like people, you ever hear of the hollow earth theory? There's where there's like basically tunnels that go through the middle of the earth. And you think maybe maybe it's the same sea serpent. He's just like traveling. It's Nessie. But when he gets to when Nessie gets to Montana, he gets real mad.
Gets hungry.
There's no haggis around here. I'm like, I guess these people on the shore, they're kind of like haggis.
The Montanians. Yeah, there's no telling. There's a lot of supernatural stuff, that I've been learning about the last year, that I'm intrigued about the ley lines and the hollow earth theory. There's a lot of theories out there that who knows what's right, but I do know that there's stuff out there we don't understand. I really do.
Yes. Man, it's good to keep the mystery alive, man.
Definitely.
And it's got it. Yes.
Definitely do. But
Montana's got some spooky stuff, man. It's not just a nice place for fly fishing and picking huckleberries.
no.
It's got some spooky
a lot of mean sheriffs and vigilantes and Wendigos, hungry sea monsters. So yeah, when you decide to go Yellowstone, be careful. Definitely be careful. But
Yep.
anyway, Ted, if there's ain't nothing you want to add,
No. Nah, it's just yeah, man. That's a good one. That's a big good one. Some good stories.
Roger that. Roger that. Oh, anyway, guys, I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and don't forget we do have a playlist. We're halfway through. We got more to come. So until next time, guys, you know the drill. Watch out for the old flathead monster when you're in the bathtub, and don't drop the soap. The demon of the Flathead Lake might get you. But till next time, everyone, peace out.